Hi, and welcome to this reading. If you are new here for the first time, hello, welcome. If you are returning, hello again. Now, that's interesting because the message that was coming through prior to this reading was, hello again. Start from the end to get back to the beginning. And it comes from a message that I was getting from a pair of undies. Now, undies in Australian is knickers. We don't call them panties. I hate that word. But there's an Australian underwear brand called Step One. Step One. And I'm getting that start back at one. I'm just trying to remember the lyrics of that song. I will pop it in the description box. But the message I was getting was step one. Hello again. Start from the end to get back to the beginning. Now, this underwear brand in Australia is actually called Step One. And on the inside of the front of the undies, we call them undies, knickers, it says hello again. I was folding washing this morning and I saw this hello again, step one, hello again. And then I started getting all of these downloads. Now we're currently, the North Node is in Pisces. So there are 12 signs in the zodiac. Pisces is the last sign. Pisces is the 12th sign of the zodiac. And what do we do when the North Node, after 18 months, which is internal reflection, spiritual reflection, tapping into the spiritual lessons that you have learnt over the past 12 phases, and there's 18 months, a lunar node sits in the north, a sign sits in the North Node, which is where you get that 27 years. Yeah, that would be right. Your Saturn return. I wonder if that's true, because that just popped into my mind. That would be true because your Saturn return happens at 27, 28, and it's basically where you've passed through all the lunar nodes in the zodiac to get you back to where Saturn was when you were born. Now, Saturn is your karmic teacher. And Pisces, it's the last sign of the zodiac. It's the spiritual lessons that you learnt on this journey from the beginning to the end. The beginning is Aries. That's the first sign in the zodiac. And the last sign in the zodiac is Pisces. The spiritual lessons that you learn on that journey. And if we think about Aries, Aries is the Emperor. The action that you take when you get back to one. Well, a balanced emperor, somebody who has learnt and understood the spiritual lessons of the first 27, 28 years of their life, then starts on the next 27 years in the zodiac, fueled up with that spiritual wisdom. Interesting. Step one, hello again. Start from the end to get back to the beginning. Now, if somebody hasn't learnt those spiritual lessons, the emperor, a balanced emperor, is somebody who, the emperor drives the chariot in the major arcana. So a balanced emperor drives forward in life with an equal balance of wisdom and drive. Start back at one. So currently, as I said, the North Node is in Pisces. Now, depends on, where you are in terms of your age, whatever lessons you're learning at the moment. Part of this collective awakening that we're going through the next 18 months is these spiritual lessons that we're tapping into, looking back, cutting away what doesn't work in order to move forward. These big Saturn returns happen 27, 28, and then kind of 55, 60-ish, and then again in your 80s. But wherever you are on the journey, you are on the journey to start back at one. Now, Pisces is the fish. The karmic lessons that you learn. And when you think about this symbolism of Pisces, It's two fish. Both sides, in order for them to swim around and around and around, both sides have to be in balance. If you look at the, otherwise, one's going to overpower the other. And they're going to either swim in reverse or swim forward. In order to be balanced, they have to, in order to swim forward, they have to be balanced. Otherwise, they're going to swim backwards. I'm getting that light and dark. So Pisces as a, what's on there? I couldn't tell you the truth. Pisces, you have to learn the truth yourself. Pisces as a constellation sits in, it's basically shaped like a V. And it's this cord that runs between these two fish. Lots of symbolism around these two particular fish, obviously two fish. Yin, yang, Adam, Eve, light, dark, Christ, Antichrist, angel, devil. And if one is more powerful than the other, it pulls. If you think about it, lots of people, they have their Saturn return 27, 28. I think of lots of people in, you know, lots of actors and that have all passed away at about that age. Something was out of balance and their wheels started spinning backwards. But if we go back to the symbol for Pisces, I'll see if I can find it, the astrological symbol for Pisces, so you can see. Just give me a second. I'm actually currently doing some work on it, a video that I'm making, but the North Node, so this is the Pisces constellation. The North Node currently sits in Pisces. Divine contemplation. Pisces constellation is two fish connected by a cord, one good, one evil. Divine balance is required between the two. For example, Adam and Eve, Castor and Pollux, yin and yang, good and evil, Christ and the Antichrist, the two rivers. The symbol looks like a V, which in gematria, which is a biblical reference to the alphanumeric value of something. So a V is 700. In Strong's Concordance, so if you put that number 700 into Strong's Concordance, it brings up a list. It's basically an index of all the words that are used in the Old Testament and the New Testament. Strong's, floodgates or windows of heaven, divine judgment, light and dark, and this balance between the two. Start back at one. I think that's Brian McKnight. It's also giving me, as I said, Adam and Eve, light and dark, heaven and earth. Now, in the past couple of days, I've been doing lots and lots of research. And what I actually got was Adam aligns with Uluru. Now, Uluru in Australia is obviously what we used to be called Ayers Rock. But it's also got the gematria code of 700. Now, the Australian Aborigines were the first. They're the first, the beginning. And Uluru as a place is the most spiritual place in Australia for the Aboriginal people. The other words that align with Uluru, obviously V, Keystone, my name is Neo. And as a fig tree drops its figs. Now the fig tree prophecy is a prophecy that comes from the story of Adam and Eve. As I said, I've been doing lots of research. Eve in Hebrew is Shava, C-H-A-V-A. The numbers that aligns with 7, 13, 2, 10, and 35. This is all about a journey that you're on, a wheel within a wheel within a wheel. It's Genesis and Revelation. As you go from the start, which is the first part of your journey, which starts in Aries but works its way all the way through to Pisces, which is the end. 12 signs. If you think of a clock, it's endings and beginnings, one day, the next day. Even you can split morning and night from 12 a.m. to 12 noon, from 12 noon to 12 p.m. This split, that reference again to Adam and Eve. As a fig tree drops its figs. Now in Revelation 6:13, and the stars of the heaven fell to the earth as a fig tree drops its late figs. But I want to have a look. I just want to go back to Eve, because we've got some Adam and Eve references here, and it's also aligning with some other messages that I was having coming through. Okay, so Eve is Shava, 713. You could even look at that as the 13th of July, if that number resonates with you. 210 or 35. 713 symbolizes the end of days, a solar burst, spiritual light. And then this one was a bit weird. North Korea collapse. 210 is Gaza healed and Z-E-D. So we've got these Adam and Eve references, the beginning and the end. Now, the song that was coming through was Hallelujah. Now, I heard it yesterday. I always have my songs on Random Shuffle. I heard it yesterday in relation to how it was sung by Katie Lang. I've got it a couple of times in a couple of different singers singing it on my playlist. I always have my playlist on Random Shuffle, and when I'm pulling through messages, I use that Random Shuffle as a way to connect synchronistically with my guides to get confirmation or clarification on something that I'm pulling through. So I was getting, and I was about to say Jeff Buckley. It was also sung by Jeff Buckley. And I think it's a Leonard Cohen song. Interestingly, Jeff Buckley did pass away. Wow, now hang on. Jeff Buckley passed away. I don't know how old he was. He passed away from drowning. Pisces is water. Interesting. But it's about a soul journey. And this came through in a reading the other day. The city of soul, and if we're talking about Ayers Rock here, the beginning, the First Nations people. The city of soul is exactly 7,000 kilometers from Uluru, as the crow flies. And interesting, right? Because the Korean flag is actually the yin and the yang, which is balance. The soul journey that you are on, where you are meant to, as you work your way through the lessons that you learn in your lifetime, where you're meant to bring in divine balance. Now, who was that first lesson learned by? It was learned by Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. So the song that I was getting was Hallelujah. Now, as I said, Katie Lang sang it. Jeff Buckley then did a cover version, which was the second version that we listened to, because I was sitting in the car with my daughter, and she paused it, and she said, what does that line mean? And there's a line in it that says, she tied him to the kitchen chair. Is it she broke his strength when she cut his hair? Hang on. Okay. She tied you to a kitchen chair, she broke your throne, she cut your hair. And from your lips she drew the hallelujah. Now, I'm not going to go into the song meaning, because sometimes when you just go into, I know the meaning of that particular lyric because we looked it up, because she said to me, what does that mean? And it's a story of Samson and Delilah. So Samson had this amazing power that was given to him, this amazing strength that was given to him by God, but he wasn't allowed to tell the secret of it. And the secret lay in his long locks. Now, he fell in love with Delilah. She was being bribed to find out the secret. He fell in love with her. And he broke his spiritual covenant with God by revealing to her where his strength came from. She tied you to the kitchen chair. She broke your crown. She cut your hair. And that's what she did. She cut his hair off. And he lost all his strength and his power because he had broken this covenant that he had with God. Because he'd fallen in love. I was thinking about this morning because I went to start this reading and I got interrupted. And then I was just tidying up in the kitchen. And my daughter came out And I was thinking about that song, Hallelujah. And this happens all the time between us. And she was humming, and I said to her, what are you humming? And she said, I'm humming Hallelujah. I said, that's funny because I'm just about to go and do a reading on it. But we were talking about the symbolism of having your hair cut. And she said to me, you know, it reminded her of the movie Tangled, where somebody was being trapped in a tower. There's a hidden enemy here who's trying to find out your spiritual power. Interesting. I couldn't tell you the truth. The truth about your spiritual power. Maybe you're being held. She was being held for ransom in the tower, wasn't she? She was being held for ransom in the tower by her mother. She was being held for ransom in the tower by her mother. Well, it wasn't actually her mother. Okay, this is kind of getting complicated. Adam and Eve. Keystone, my name is Neo. As a fig tree drops its figs. My name is Neo. This is about getting out of the matrix. You've got to find your own way out of the matrix. And in doing that, you get spiritual freedom. Because in the end, God actually gave back Samson his power. Interesting though, because when... I couldn't tell you the truth. When we were talking yesterday about that song, and she said before we looked up that it was essentially about Samson and Delilah. She said to me, she humbled him. She said, what I take from that is she humbled him. So many messages coming through. So if you think about somebody's hair, it's their appearance. Does somebody's strength lie in their appearance? And who am I doing this reading for? Are you Adam or are you Eve? I'm just going to do it as collective. Because when you think about the fig tree drops, as soon as a sacrifice was made in the Garden of Eden, they had to cover up with fig leaves. So interesting. Okay, let's get an angel. Who's walking with you? This is a journey, a couple, where one person sacrificed the other. Somebody's been humbled by their power and what they thought was powerful. They've been humbled by the other person. Number 40, consolation and comfort. Now that angel aligns with the Page of Cups, which is the moon in Pisces. It's a hidden spiritual lesson. I couldn't tell you the truth. That could be God saying, you know what? This is a hidden spiritual lesson that you had to learn yourself. Samson and Delilah. And in that movie, Tangled, she didn't know who she was. But to leave the tower that she was in, she had to cut her hair. Well, they cut her hair. And then she found out who she was. Consolation and comfort. Okay, let's get... Oh, so cryptic. Remain calm at this time. Higher power. You're being guided by a higher power. Release control. Perfectly blind. Some things are meant to be hidden. Deep shadow work. You're meant to go through... You're meant to go through all the lessons in the Zodiac. Adam and Eve were meant to, because that was the first judgment. They ate the apple from the tree. The tree of good and evil. There's something else. There's another word in there. The tree of knowledge of good and evil. Samson and Delilah. Delilah had been bribed and she tricked. And Samson broke a covenant that he had with God. But it was meant to happen that way. She was in the tower, entangled, because she had been tricked. Consolation and comfort. Okay, higher power. It's all being orchestrated. You know, even the symbolism of Pisces with this, you know, the constellation actually looks like a big V. The constellation of Pisces looks like a big V, which aligns with the number 700, which aligns with the number Uluru, which aligns with Adam and Eve. Soul, 7,000 kilometers from Uluru. A soul journey that you're on. Deep shadow work, a soul journey that you're on. Okay, let's get just an energy for this reading. Are you joking? The Temperance card. This reading is divinely guided. The Temperance card. It's balance. Deep shadow work. This is a journey that one or both of you are on. Because if you think of Adam and Eve, they had to be in balance with each other. There's a brown and white butterfly flying around in my garden. That's transformation. You can't go back to where you came from. A butterfly can't go back to being a caterpillar. To being a caterpillar. The Nine of Pentacles on the bottom is freedom. That's my Mother Mary card. Okay, do I want to? Yeah, let's do this way. The energy around you at the moment, remain calm at this time. Higher power, you're being guided. The King of Swords, which is Uranus in Libra, balance. Some truths are coming out. I couldn't tell you the truth. Some truths are coming out about a spiritual journey that you are on that is meant to bring you back into alignment with yourself, spiritual journey. So that when you roll out of when you roll out of Aries, but the way the nodes work is they work backwards. So we've just had 18 months in Aries. What have you done? What have we collectively done for the last 18 months while the lunar nodes have been in Aries that has been destructive? Because if you've been sitting in Aries and you haven't learnt your spiritual lessons, then when you roll around to the North Node being in Pisces, you then have to do the shadow work. Because the nodes work backwards. Interesting. It's like this push and pull. It's like in school. You get the lesson and then you get the test. But in life, you get the test and then you get the lesson. The King of Swords. What did I do? Uranus in Libra. What have I done? What have I done? The Emperor. Somebody's been in imbalanced Emperor energy and made decisions that were hidden, that were part of a karmic test that now puts you into a karmic test by a higher power that now puts you into deep shadow work as you make this, it's almost like a reconciliation energy. And what did I say before? The wheel within a wheel. The end times, meaning the end of the cycle, is a connection between revelation. So Revelation 7. Now, if you look at the Pisces constellation, it actually looks like a 7. End times, revelation, the connection between Revelation and Genesis. What's revealed to you at the end that allows you to go back to the beginning. Because if you look at Adam and Eve, they were given, it was judgment, but then it was the last judgment. The last judgment. What did you learn? Okay, what's happening in the soul? Oh, seriously, that's the Empress. What's happening in the soul? You're tapping into your intuition. The Empress is Venus and Taurus energy. That's Eve. We already had the Emperor. Look, the Six of Wands on the bottom. We already had the Emperor coming out. It's the balance between Adam and Eve, the balance between light and dark, the balance between good and evil. Heaven and earth. What's happening in the soul? Oh, ah. Justice. Page of Cups, the Page of Swords, the Knight of Cups, the Lovers, and the Magician. And under here, we've got the Ten of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles. This is all the lessons that you've learned. What was an illusion? What's important to you in regards to the choices that you make, because the Lovers is Mercury. Decisions that you make. What was hidden? The Knight of Cups, the Moon in Scorpio. The Page of Swords. That's about the truths that you spoke. The Page of Cups, which is the Moon in Pisces, which is the hidden spiritual lessons that bring in justice. Justice is balance. The Nine of Pentacles, and affords you a freedom and a reconciliation. That's the Ten of Cups. That's a happily ever after card. But in order to get it, you need to have learned all the spiritual lessons. Okay, let's have a look. One card, please, for what's happening in the soul. Here we go, Justice. Balance, divine balance. Justice is Libra and Venus. The message from the man upstairs. Something just came out and flicks back in. Nope, the Magician. The message from the man upstairs is you have now been awoken to the illusion. And the Ace of Pentacles, which is a giving of what's been promised to you. But the Ace of Pentacles is, this is the potential possible outcome. If you get to the end of all of the lessons that you're meant to learn, if you get to the end, you get to go back to the beginning. Ace of Pentacles is the slowest moving ace in the tarot. And again, we've got the Six of Wands on the bottom. Victory after a long battle. V is for victory, which is the Pisces sign. Pisces is the World card. It's ruled by Saturn. It's also the moon, the hidden lessons that you learn. And if you learn them and you understand them, then you get given the freedom to have a new beginning. Hello again. You start from the end to get back to the beginning. Step one. A long time. Okay, so we've got the Six of Wands, a long battle. This guy in this particular, well, it's obviously a set of birds, but in the original drawing of the tarot, it was a guy that went away to war. All of the battles that he had to overcome, and people thought he was long gone. And then he rode back into town. I was going to say he rode back into town on a donkey. He rode back into town on a horse. And, you know, claimed his victory. Interesting. Okay, let's have a look at this King of Swords. Page of Pentacles. Yeah, the lessons that you learn. That's the card of the student. What want to come out there? And the Knight of Wands, which is a card of impulse. That's Mercury, communication. Eight of Wands, Saturn in Sagittarius. It's the recognition, the realization of the lessons that you learn, and that the beginning connects to the end. The Empress card. This is what's happening in the 3D. The Five of Pentacles. It's Mercury and Taurus. Maybe that what you built, where you built, what you built. Two of Pentacles. Left things up in the air. Jupiter in Capricorn. It says shifting though, because again, it's this balance. The battle, the tree of knowledge in the garden of good and evil. Are you going to pick the red pill or the green pill? Enlightenment on the bottom, and we've got judgment. Okay, justice card. This is what's happening in your soul. Strength. I'm not taking that. I want it to come out properly. Strength. We've got the Ace of Pentacles again. You're being given a divine gift, a truth. A truth about the lessons that you learned over this massive, massive cycle that you've been in. The Knight of Pentacles, Saturn and Capricorn. And this truth, with this truth comes injustice. It's a spiritual truth that you're being given. Magician. The Nine of Pentacles is Mother Mary. It's a card of freedom though. It frees you up. Yeah, and 2 nines. This year we have the 999 portal. This year will free up any illusion that you had or disillusion that you had in regards to a situation with somebody else. The Star on the bottom. It's a fated journey that you were meant to be on. The Four of Swords, potentially at the moment, because this is the potential final outcome. It's meant to be a pause and reflect. That's the Four of Swords. Comes after the Three of Swords. The Three of Swords is heartbreak and pain. It's an internal reflection. In order to get given this, I want to say gift of enlightenment. Yeah, the Temperance Angel. Temperance. 911. After a long battle. Some reprieve after a long battle. That's healing after a long battle. Bringing things back into balance. Because when they're balanced, it's like if you've got a cut on your foot and you're trying to walk, you'd be hobbling. It's not balanced. Your step, your stride isn't balanced. You have to heal. Something has to be healed. And whether it's one person has to heal and the other person's fine, or both people have their own individual wounds that need to heal. Interesting. Okay, I'm going to get you a moon. Get ready for some cosmic luck with the full moon in Sagittarius. Full moon in Cancer, you and your crew are wrapped up in a magic cosmic shield. And the new moon in Aries, time to meditate and contemplate. Now, I'm not going to get you a node because we've already really, this is a big node reading. Let's get you some songs. Hallelujah was the song that was coming out. Let's see if there's any love songs. You're the one that I want. John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John. You better shape up because I need a man and my heart is set on you. You better shape up. You better understand. To my heart, I must be true. Nothing left for me to do. You're the one that I want. That card hasn't come out for a long time. Now, that was an imbalance between those two. He was Mr. Cool, tough guy. And she was Miss Sweet and Innocent. She actually had to step into her power. And he had to kind of cool it down a bit. Interesting. Hero. Enrique Iglesias. And Can I Be Him? James Arthur. I'm going to get one more. The Circle Game. Goes around and round, and the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. You're captive on the carousel of time. Round. Feeling good. Michael Bublé. Birds flying high. You know how I feel. Sun in the sky. You know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by. You know how I feel. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. It's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. No, actually it was that other song, I Just Haven't Met You Yet. He actually met his wife in that music video of the song I Just Haven't Met You Yet. But he had actually met her. Nothing's going to stop us now. Starship. And my universe on the bottom. And they said that we can't be together because we come from different sides. It's two sides of the same coin. You're like peas in a pod, yin and yang, but you both have to be in balance. Interesting. Okay, let's get some Scrabble tiles. In here, letters and numbers. You make my world light up inside. Now, in Tangled, what's that song? And at last I see the light. Okay, Scrabble tiles in here, letters and numbers. I will call them both out. We'll see what comes out. It does make a little bit of noise, so when I shake it, just turn your volume down. I'm going to shake it in 3, 2, 1. Okay. So we've got a Z, that's the end, an F and a 4, a Z and a 10, an F and a 4, a K and a 5, an N and a 1, a J and an 8, a H and a 4, a Y and a 4, a V and a 4, and a B and a 3. Okay, 3 final cards, and then I'm going to leave you. The Star. Fated that this was meant to happen this way. You had to go on a spiritual journey first. The 8 of Wands. Where do we have that? No, that was in the previous reading. The 8 of Wands is communication. This is 2 people running away together, but they need to be balanced. And the 4 of Swords, which is Jupiter in Libra. They need to be balanced. The Page of Cups, because it was a hidden spiritual journey that they were on. The Knight of Wands wanting to come out. He was trying to come out here in the message from God. You can't come forward until you're balanced. Interesting. Hello again. Starting from the end to get back to the beginning. Okay, that's where I'm going to leave you. If this reading resonated with you, please give it a like. If you haven't already, please subscribe. I will list the songs in the description box. There might be more messages in the lyrics, the album cover, the artwork, the music video of those songs, or even in a movie that they're attached to. What have we got? Grease. You're the one that I want. Is that there? Yeah, you're the one that I want. Actually, nothing's going to stop us now. That's from the movie Mannequin. He falls in love with a statue. Yeah. He falls in love with a mannequin. If you call to any of my tarot or oracle decks, the links to those can be found in the description box. Thanks again, and I will see you again in another reading.